Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to start chapter number 4, types of business organization, Cambridge IGCSE and O levels business studies. This is the explanation of this chapter in complete form. Please be with me till the last video because this chapter is a little bit long. There are 6 different forms of organizations what we have to discuss. So let's start. First of all, we will see what kind of business organizations we have. First of all, we have sole traders, then we have partnerships, then we have private limited companies, then we have public limited companies, then we have franchises, and then we have joint ventures. First of all, we will see about the sole traders. Sole trader is a business owned by one person. It is very clear that in sole trader only one person will be there. Mike, for example, we will take the example of Mike till a private limited company. How Mike is starting the business as sole trader, then as partnership, then as private limited company. So please be focused. Mike decided to start his own taxi business. He set up the business as a sole trader. These are the advantages to Mike of being a sole trader. What are the advantages? There were few legal regulations for him to worry about when he set up the business. To start sole tradership, you need to follow or you need to have some few legal formalities to complete as compared to joint stock company, private limited company, public limited company. There are a lot of legal restrictions, legal formalities what you have to do, but in sole tradership few legal formalities are there. He is his own boss. First of all, the advantage is he is not bound to tell anything to anyone and listen to anyone because he is the boss, he is accountant, he is manager, he is employee, he is everything to the business. He has the freedom to choose his own holidays, hours of work, price to be charged, and whom to employ. So he is the all in all, what kind of price he will charge, how many hours he will work per day. If he don't want to go to the business or whatever he is doing, he cannot go. No one will bound him to go for the job or go for the work. No, he does not have to give information about his business to anyone else other than the tax office. Only he will tell about his business to the tax office to pay the taxes. Otherwise, he is not bound to tell anything of his business to anyone. These are the advantages of being a sole trader. Disadvantages are he have no one to discuss business matter with as he is the sole owner. As Mike is starting sole tradership, so he has no one to discuss the matters of the business with anyone. Sometimes you are in the problem, you want someone to discuss, you want someone to share the thing, but he has no one. Unlimited liability. The concept of unlimited liability and limited liability is very important. Please be focused. In partnership also you will see that. Unlimited liability means that if my business cannot pay its debt, for example, I borrowed the capital from the bank and my business was not working and I am unable to pay debt, then the people I owe money to can force me to sell all of my own possessions in order to pay them. Like in sole tradership, your liability is unlimited. Okay, it means if you have taken any debt, it's very important to understand, if you have taken any debt to invest in your business, to increase your capital, you have taken any loan, and if business is going to fail, you have to pay that loan at any cost. So people from wherever you have taken, the organization, financial institution, bank, people, they will force you to sell your assets, to sell your properties, to sell anything and pay their debt. Okay, this is the biggest disadvantage of being a sole trader. I want to expand the business by buying other taxis, but I do not have enough money. It means capital of sole tradership is very less. This is also a disadvantage because sole tradership is a small business. It does not have too much capital. My business is likely to remain small because capital for expansion is not restricted. So capital is not there, so it will remain small business. If I am ill, there is no one who will take control of the business for me. For example, if Mike is the sole trader. If he is ill, of course, at that day he will not do anything. His business will remain closed. he has to go somewhere out of station or out of country, again his business is unable to proceed. No one is there to continue his business. So these are the disadvantages being a sole trader. Definitions to learn. Importantly, limited liability, I have added these because these are very important. Students have a much more confusion about limited or unlimited liability. Limited liability means that the ability of shareholders in a company is limited to the only amount they invested. For example, we are buying the shares of the companies, Apple shares, or like Binance, we are stock market, we are buying some shares. So if the company falls, okay, we lose that particular money. So we are only restricted to our investment. If we lose our investment, that's it. We are not we cannot force to that particular company to pay our money. Unlimited liability, that the owners of a business can be held responsible. For example, Mike is responsible to pay the debt, responsible for the debts of the business they own. Their liability is not limited to the investment they made in the business. So in case of unlimited liability, you have to pay back to the shareholders or to the people from whom you have taken the money. Partnerships. Next form of organization is partnership. Partnership is a form of business in which two or more people agree to jointly own a business. In this way, like two people or more than two, like Mike and anyone else with Mike. A partnership agreement is a written and legal agreement between. In sole tradership, one person was there, so no need for any agreement because he is the owner. In partnership, two owners are there, so they will make a agreement between each other. So legal agreement between business partners, it is not essential for partner to have such an agreement, but it is always recommended. So for example, two friends are there, they don't need to do any agreement because they know each other, they are very good friends, but it is recommended, it should be there. You never know when you are going to fight with your friend also. Now Mike offered his friend Geeta the chance to become a partner in his taxi business. So we know that in sole tradership he started the business of taxi. Now he is going to make Geeta the partner. Advantages of this partnership will be more capital will be there, okay, because Geeta will invest and Mike will also invest. The responsibility will be shared. Now before he was only one, now if he is ill, Geeta will see. If Geeta is ill, Mike can see. Both partners are motivated to work hard because they would both benefit from the profits. Now I will also work hard, she will also work hard. For example, Mike will also work hard and Geeta will also work hard, so that they can get more profits. So profits are distributed to each other. Disadvantages are the partners did not have limited liability. Again, this problem is same as sole tradership within partnership. Like their liability is limited, so if they have any problem, they have to pay the debt to the people. The business did not have separate legal identity. If one of the partner died, then the partnership would end. Both sole traders and partnerships are said to be unincorporated businesses because they do not have a separate legal identity from the owners. Separate legal identity is where owners are different, owners are separate, and the business is separate. So if owners they die, they have business will not be affected. Okay. In partnership, if one partner dies, the business will come to end. Partners can disagree on business decisions and consulting. All partners take time. For example, if partners are there, I want to take any decision, I will discuss with the partner. They want time to think about it and all that. Okay, so the decision will become time consuming. After that, you can have also some conflicts. You can have some reservations and all that. You can disagree with others' decisions as well. If one of the partner is very inefficient or actually dishonest, so if any of the partner is dishonest, all of the partners will suffer the problem of losing money in the business. So this is all about partnership. Now, private limited companies. There is one essential difference between a company and an unincorporated business, such as a sole trader and partnership. Now the company is different as compared to partnership and sole tradership. A company is a separate legal unit from its owner. Now company is separate, owners are separate. It is an incorporated business, not incorporated business. Companies are jointly owned by the people who have invested in the business. These people buy shares in the company and they are therefore called shareholders. These shareholders appoint directors to run the business. In a private limited company, the directors are usually the most important or majority shareholders. So in private limited company, all of the directors are mainly the shareholders of the business. Definitions to learn in this topic is: incorporated business are companies that have separate legal status from their owner. Shareholders are the owners of the limited company. They buy shares which represent part ownership, mean they are part of the organization of the company. Private limited companies are businesses owned by shareholders, but they cannot sell shares to the public. In private limited companies, you can sell shares only to the friends and family, okay, not to the general public. Now, advantages of private limited company: shares can be sold to a large number of people. Okay, these would be likely to friends or relatives, like friends and relatives of Mike and Geeta. They could not advertise the shares for sale to the general public. Then all shares have limited liability, or shareholders have limited liability. This is an important advantage. It means that if the company failed with debt owing to creditors, the shareholders could not be forced to sell their possessions to pay the debt. Now you don't need to pay the debts. The people who started the company, Mike and Geeta in our example, are able to keep control of it as long as they do not sell too many shares to the other people. So if you sell more than 50% of the share to anyone, so they will become the controlling authority of the business. So you can take for a long time, you can take control of the business. These are the three main advantages of private limited company. Disadvantages of private limited company: there are significant legal matters which have to be dealt with before a company can be formed. In particular, two important form of documents have to be sent to the registrar of the company to register the company. You must follow some legal restrictions, legal formalities. First of all, you should submit article of association to the registrar of the companies. This article of association contain the rules under which the company will be managed, the rights and duties of the directors, rules concerning the election of the directors and the holding of official meetings, and procedure to be followed for issuing the shares. All these things will be there in the article of association. The memorandum of association, this contains very important information about the company and the directors. The official name and the address of the registered offices of the company must be stated. The objectives of the company must be stated, as well as the number of shares to be bought by each of the directors. All of these things should be mentioned in the memorandum of association. After that, the accounts of company are less secret than for either a sole trader or partnership. In partnership, for example, Mike and Geeta, they are the partners. They can keep the secrecy of the accounts, financial accounts and everything. In sole trader, of course, one person is there, he keeps all the records. But in private limited company, the record is not that much secret. Now, public limited companies. This form of business organization is most suitable for very large businesses. Most large, well-known businesses are public limited companies, as they have been able to raise the capital to expand nationally or even internationally. Public limited companies are businesses owned by shareholders, but they can sell share to the public and their shares are tradable on stock exchange. Now we can see that they can sell share to the general public. It means they can raise finance, large finance they can raise. Okay. After that, their shares are also tradable. These are the two main points in this public limited companies. Advantages are: this form of business organization still offers limited liability to shareholders. Very good advantage. It is an incorporated business and has a separate legal identity to the owners or shareholders. There is now the opportunity to raise very large capital sum to invest in the business. Whenever the business want to expand, they can offer shares in the market to the general public, so they can have a lot of investment. There is no restriction on buying, selling or transfer of the share. So in public limited company, you can buy, sell or transfer the shares easily to anyone. Disadvantages are the legal formalities of forming such a company. As we studied that sole trader partnership very easy to form, but public limited company is very difficult to form because there are a lot of legal formalities to follow. There are many more regulations and controls over public limited companies in order to try to protect the interest of the shareholders. The selling shares to the public is expensive. So the directors will often ask a specialist merchant bank to help them in this process. It will charge a commission for its services. Of course, if they are unable to sell directly to the shareholders, they will hire an in-between party. There is a very real danger that although the original owners of the business might become rich by selling shares in the business, they may lose control over it when it goes public. So sometime, of course, the owners will become very rich when they are offering the shares, but when they are offering the shares, the general public is buying a lot of shares, so they can also become the controlling power if they are buying more than 50% or majority of the shares are with the general public. So these are all the disadvantages of public limited company. Now, control and ownership in a public limited company. This is a small topic, it was given, I have summarized it, that two things are there in ownership of a public limited company and control. Two things are there. One is annual general meeting, AGM, and one is dividend. An annual general meeting is a legal requirement for all companies. Shareholders may attend and vote on who they want to be on the board of directors for coming year. Like the shareholders, they choose the person who will be the board of director. Like in board of director, who the people are there. They are more than one. Dividends are payments made to shareholders from the profits after tax of a company. They are the return of shareholders for investing in the company. So when shareholders are investing in the company, they receive return on that. That return is the dividend, and return is from the profit after tax. Now this diagram is showing you something, that is shareholders may attend AGM. Like few shareholders will attend, not all the shareholders. Few will attend the annual general meeting, okay, those who are keeping the ownership. Then vote for board of directors who take all important decisions. They will choose in election, they will choose the board of director who will take all the important decisions, and then appoint manager for day-to-day business decisions. This is the control. These two things are coming, board of director and managers. It is coming under control, that who will control all of the business activities. One board of director, and under them there are managers. So this is the control and ownership in a public limited company. Now, other two private sector businesses in organization. We studied or private organization, private limited company, and public limited company. Under private sector and under public sector, there are other businesses. We will see in private sector what the businesses are. Two businesses are there. One is joint venture and one is franchise. First of all, we will see what is franchise. A franchise is a business based upon the use of brand names, promotional logos, and trading methods of an existing successful business. The franchise buys the license to operate this business from the franchisor. So for example, the biggest example of this franchise is McDonald's. McDonald's, they are offering franchise to the different people. They buy their name. In franchise, you are selling your name to the particular person, but that person will follow all your instructions. The benefit to that person is that he will start earning the money, okay, from the very first day, because he is buying a good name. Franchise, he is buying a franchise, he is buying a good name, but he has to follow all your, like, franchisors instructions, and he has to pay some certain percentage of the profit every year to the franchisor. We will see its advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are, to franchisor, the advantage is the franchisee buys a license from the franchisor to use the brand name. Expansion of the franchised business is much faster than if the franchisor had to finance all new outlets. The management of the outlet is the responsibility of the franchisee. All products sold must be obtained from the franchisor. So franchisor is giving the material, franchisor is receiving the money, franchisor name is expanding. So all these are advantages to him. The franchisee, the chance of business failure is very less, because if I buy the chain of McDonald's today, of course from tomorrow I will start earning the profit. The franchisor pays for the advertising. Like franchisee has nothing to do with like advertisement. This is one of the major expense of the business, but franchisor will do that. All supplies are obtained from central source. Like central source is what, who? Franchisor. There are few decisions to make then with the independent business. Prices, store layout and range of the product will have been decided by the franchisor. Franchisor will decide everything, like what kind of outlet you have to make, prices, store layout, range of products, everything will be decided by the franchisor. So franchisee doesn't need to spend a lot of time on this and should take this headache. Training for staff and management is provided by the franchisor. Franchisor will provide the training as well. Banks are often willing to lend to franchisees due to relative low risk. Like McDonald's is a very good name in the market, so any financial institution is going to finance that particular business. Now, disadvantages. Disadvantages to the franchisor: poor management of one franchise. For example, if I buy the McDonald's today and my management is not good, so they are creating any problem, so whole of the franchises of McDonald's will suffer. This is the biggest disadvantage to the franchisor. The franchisee keeps profit from the outlet. Franchisee will have a lot of profit. The franchisee keeps profit from the outlet. So whatever the profit they are making, they will keep it with them. Small portion they will share with the franchisor. While franchisor is giving the name, providing the training opportunities, providing layout, prices and everything, but they will receive small amount. Maximum amount franchisee will keep, because the investment franchisee is doing. Now, disadvantages to franchisee: less independence, because he has to follow instructions from franchisor. May be unable to make decisions that would suit the local area. According to my area, if I want to take any decision, I cannot, being a franchisee. License fee must be paid to the franchisor and possibly a percentage of the annual turnover. So you have to pay the license fee as well. You have to pay the certain percentage of the profit as well. So these are the disadvantages to the franchisee. Second part of private sector business is joint venture. Joint venture is basically when two or more businesses agree to start a new project together, sharing the capital, the risk and the profits. Many European companies have set up joint ventures in China with Chinese businesses, as the local managers will have good knowledge of market needs and consumer taste. Market needs and consumer tastes. So joint venture is when one or two businesses are joining together in order to form a new business, okay, and sharing the capital as well. We can see the advantage and disadvantage of joint venture. Advantage is sharing of cost, very important for expensive projects such as new aircraft. If you are going to start a very big business, two business will join together, they will share the cost of that particular business. Local knowledge, when joint venture companies is already based in the country. For example, if I am going to make a joint venture in USA, today I am in KSA, Saudi Arabia, and I want to start a business in America, I am going to make a joint venture with any of the company in America. So what is the possible advantage to me? That I do not have local knowledge. So when I will make a joint venture, I will go there and they are doing the business. They are a successful business over there. So I am now their partner. So by working with them, I will come to know everything: market trend, market need, market taste, consumer taste, fashion, everything I will come to know. Once I am familiar with everything, I can buy the business or I can leave the business and start my own. Risks are shared. Like when you are going, like for example, I gave you the example, if I am doing the business in America, I don't know anything. I can fail if I start the business over there, because I don't know the tradition, I don't know the culture, I don't know the consumer taste. So maybe my strategies will not work there. So if I will make a joint venture with anyone, then my risk is shared. I have less risk of failure. Disadvantages of joint venture is, if the new project is successful, then the profits have to be shared. For example, you moved to USA as a businessman making a joint venture and it got successful. Then you have to share the profit. Every person, he wants to enjoy full profit. So this is the disadvantage. Disagreement over important decision might occur. When we are making the joint venture, we can disagree with some decisions. The two joint venture partners might have different ways of running a business, different cultures. For example, the culture of wearing clothes in KSA and wearing clothes in USA is different. If you are opening a clothing business, you might have a lot of differences. So in joint venture, partners might have some difficulties and clashes on that particular decisions. This is all about joint ventures. Now business organizations in the public sector, public corporations are there. Public corporation is a business in the public sector that is owned and controlled by the state, means state government. Public corporations are owned by the government, but it does not directly operate the business. Government ministers appoint a board of directors who will be given the responsibility to managing the business. The government will, however, make clear what the objective of the business should be. Like government is that not dealing the business directly, they are hiring the managers. Those managers will be given the objectives or the directions of the instructions. They have to follow that. The directors are expected to run the corporation according to these objectives. So now the advantage of public corporation is some industries are considered so important that the government ownership is thought to be essential. These include water supply and electricity generation in many countries. Very good. Advantage of public corporation: if an important business is failing and likely to collapse, the government can step in to nationalize it. This will keep the business open and secure jobs. So if any of the business is falling, the advantage of public corporation is that government will involve in that and they will save that business so that the jobs are secure. Disadvantage of public corporation is there are no private shareholders to insist on high profits and efficiency. The profit motive might not be as powerful as in the private sector industry. So in public corporation, private motive is very less, because whenever there is a business, they know that whenever we are falling, government will come and save us. So that's why motivation of the profit motive is not there. Government subsidies can lead to inefficiency as managers. Like government is giving subsidies to the businesses, public corporations. Subsidies mean giving some support, you can say, or giving some less prices. So the managers, they will think that the government will help them if the business make a loss. It may also be unfair if the public corporation receives a subsidy but private firms in the same industry do not. So the government is only giving subsidies to the public corporations, not to the private. If they are doing like that, it's an injustice. So this is all about public corporations and disadvantages of public corporation. I hope 6 of the things are clear. If you have any question related to anything, okay, you can comment on the video and I will answer you on that. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe the channel, and most importantly, I want to request you that please share it with your friends, because this is the free mode of education where video lectures are there for every single chapter. Okay, so step by step everything will be uploaded to the YouTube channel, so that please follow us on YouTube and Facebook. On Facebook we have the same name, and please provide the feedback. If you like the videos, comment on that and share with your friends. Thank you very much.